Hello and welcome back to the 12 Days of Christmas. Now, Christmas is obviously about giving, and you might be thinking of making some of your Christmas presents this year and wondering what on earth to make. So this recipe is for you because I'm going to show you 2 recipes for Christmas truffles, which make really yummy gifts or just a really nice Christmas treat. The first one is a white chocolate snowball truffle, and the second one is a chocolate mini Christmas pudding truffle. The 2 methods are slightly different, so I'm going to start by making the chocolate mini Christmas pudding ones, and I'm going to do that over by the hob. Now, in my little saucepan, I have 150 millilitres of double cream, and I'm also going to add 25 grams of butter, and I'm going to melt those together on a medium heat until bubbles start to appear on the surface. So once it reaches slightly bubbling, then you need to pour it on top of 150 grams of dark 70% chocolate, and I've chopped this up into really small pieces, and I'm going to pour that over the top and let it sit for a minute. You don't want to stir it just yet because you want the heat of the cream to melt the chocolate before you get stirring. As you stir it together, the chocolate and the cream will combine, and then you'll end up with this lovely, rich, glossy mixture. And that is your basic chocolate truffle recipe, but I'm going to obviously have to Christmasify this because it's Christmas, and I'm going to do that by adding 2 tablespoons of brandy. You can leave that out if you don't want to use alcohol, but the next bit is I've got a Christmas pudding, about 100 grams of it, and I've chopped it up really, really finely, and I'm going to mix that in as well. And once that's really thoroughly mixed, just pop it into a container and cover it, and then put it in the fridge to chill. Right, now I'm going to get on with making the white chocolate snowball truffles, and the cream to chocolate ratio is a bit different here because I don't need as much cream, and it's not going to be enough to melt the chocolate, so I'm going to give it a head start by melting my white chocolate over a bain-marie, and I've got 150 grams of that. I'm just going to pop it on there and melt it until it's all melted. My white chocolate's all melted, so I'm just going to put that to one side, and now I'm going to melt together my cream and butter, and I've got 35 grams of butter and 30 millilitres of double cream. I'm just going to melt that together over a low heat. In the same way as before, when the bubbles started to appear on the surface, I've taken it off the heat, and now I'm going to add it to my white chocolate. Now this is where things start to get a little bit crazy, because when you mix them together, they kind of separate and go a little bit weird looking, which is absolutely normal and fine. So I'm just going to completely mix it together and wait for that to happen. And what we do is we put it in the fridge for about 15-20 minutes to cool down, and then we can proceed. While that's chilling out in the fridge, I'm going to get on with preparing the rest of my ingredients, and I have cranberries and pistachios here, which definitely speak Christmas to me, along with a clementine, which is very Christmassy. And I'm going to chop the cranberries and the pistachio nuts really, really small. You want to make sure that you do chop these nice and small, because anything really chunky is going to prevent you from rolling nice, tight, small truffles. And then just add the zest of the clementine straight into that bowl. So that's all my flavour ingredients for my white chocolate truffles. So now I just need to check to see if my chocolate has cooled down. Now that's been in the fridge for 15 or 20 minutes, and you can see it's looking very un-truffle-like. It's looking really yellow and goopy and split. But don't despair. All it takes to bring this back to life is a whisk. And I'm just going to whisk this together, and it's going to add a lot of nice lightness to it, and it's going to be brilliant. And after a minute whisking it, it has gone a lovely, smooth, light consistency. So it's now ready to have the fruit and the nuts added to it. Mix that all together until all the bits are nice and evenly distributed, and then just pop it into a container and whack it in the fridge to set. So both mixtures have been in the fridge for a few hours and they're completely set, so now it's time to roll them into little truffle-sized balls. And I have found that the perfect utensil for this is a small half teaspoon measure, and I'm going to roll them between my hands, which is why I'm wearing gloves, because I have warm hands and these are very melty. And once you've rolled all your truffles, just put them in the fridge to set for about half an hour. Right, these are nice and chilled, so now it's time to cover them in chocolate. And I've got some dark chocolate which I've melted, and I'm just gonna roll them about in it. I'm going to come back to these to finish them off, but now I'm going to get on with covering my white chocolate snowballs. First of all, I'm going to roll them around in a bowl of melted white chocolate, and then I'm going to put them in a bowl of desiccated coconut and just make sure they're all completely covered before putting them on the tray. I finished covering all my truffles and they look really cute, but the last thing is going to make this cute thing go off the scale, and that is I'm going to make my mini pudding ones look like little mini puddings. So I have some more melted white chocolate in a piping bag. Just going to snip the end off, and I'm going to put a little splodge of this white chocolate on top and then top it with some little holly and berry sprinkles. And that is them finished, and they look so sweet. Now you can put these in little boxes like this and give them to your mates, or you can just save them and eat them all yourself at Christmas. But I think they're brilliant, and I hope you enjoy making them. And I'll be back on Tuesday with another festive treat for you, so I'll see you then. Bye.